What's up? Welcome back. So, I was kind of like chilling into the evening and honestly getting ready for bed. It's 9:50 and I'm trying to dial back my clock ever since I got back from California. Um, got to get up early, got to do the Jocko routine, get up, go to the gym, do a little bit of writing, which by the way, you guys know I've been talking about letter writing recently. Well, I finally got my quill and my ink, which I do not want to drop or spill. And I also got my wax and my little stamp seal and all that stuff. So I'm pretty excited about what's to come with writing letters to people, which I've been expanding the set list of people to write to. But, anyways, I just saw this post by Peter Saint Ung, and essentially what he's pointing out is a lot of younger guys, in particular younger people too, like the women are involved in this, and the guys, I think in some ways they're following the women into this abyss of just nihilistic partying. And I get when you're young, like you're gonna party, like it's almost unavoidable. Now, I'm not saying that due to that, just give in and do it, because the partying nowadays is like, I hate to sound like old, but like much more dangerous than it used to be. Um, the stuff they have in the drugs nowadays, and the drugs generally are of a different caliber than when I was in my late teens and early 20s. Like the weed is something of a creation by freaking herbal mad scientists. The coke and the drugs, like they have fentanyl in it, and you get the wrong bag of the wrong stuff, you're dead. And it's just like a minefield out there. Everyone's got these STDs and whatever. It's just like not the same situation as just 10 years ago. And so I would recommend honestly against it, just trying to be a good steward of the younger bros. But with the situation the way it is, with as nihilistic as everybody seems to be about the current, scenario that we happen to find ourselves in, it is a hard thing to resist. Just kind of like throwing up your hands and saying it's screwed. Let's go out and have a drink with the boys and have a night on the town and just let's see what happens. Um, I can relate to that. Young people nowadays, they have kind of like an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. And the war today is more powerful and ferocious than it's ever been. There really is like a demonic spirit in the air. And it's sort of like what they talk about in the Orthodox Church with ancestral sin, where we don't necessarily have original sin. We're not born to be doomed into sin, but we're born into an environment which is plagued by it, which makes it that much more easy for people to fall into it. And that seems to be something which is just increasing year after year, decade after decade. It's hard to resist because the temptations are just everywhere now. It's hard to avoid. I mean, you go on social media, there's just doom and hatred. You go out into the public, the chicks are all in yoga pants and mini skirts, and like you're just walking around just trying to like keep your freaking head on straight. You've got drugs everywhere that are bad, like I said before. I mean, there are just tripwires all over the place. And you look at where the future is going, you don't even have to be tuned in to, what's going on with the debt situation, what's going on with, all this other stuff. We could go on forever about what's going on. But um, it's so easy to just give into that spirit. And apparently, according to this post, that's what a lot of people are doing. They're just blowing their savings. They're giving up on any kind of future, whether it's involving family, whether it's involving investing right and developing a nest egg for maybe having a family later. And it's just, I understand the battle. Like, I truly do understand it. Um, and My advice to young guys who are struggling to find a job, number one, if you want to be an entrepreneur, go into accounting. You don't even necessarily need to go to college for this. You can learn this stuff online. Aaron Clary and my buddy Chad Elkins, they just put out a course recently called Accounting the Greatest Career in the World. And me being a CPA, I can kind of attest to that. Now, you're not going to be rich and famous. The chicks aren't going to be like falling from the sky on you like anvils in a cartoon. Like, you're going to be just a normal bro making money and just allowing yourself to have a stable lifestyle. Or if you want to be an entrepreneur, a fast, easy track to entrepreneurship. And you can work remote. You can work anywhere in the world. You could do the nomad capitalist thing. You go to a low tax country. Maybe you get citizenship there. And look, there was a story that came out recently about how Russia is opening up immigration to people in the West who share traditional values, because it's sort of like this weird switcheroo that's going on where um, the people who grew up in the Soviet Union, they look to America as the light on the hill, the hope in the hollows. And a lot of them moved over into America. I've met so many of them. And now it seems like a lot of Americans are looking for another place to go, because it looks like with everything going on with the political situation, you've got, downright communism on the horizon, which you're definitely seeing now in the UK and in France and in other parts of Europe. You're just seeing cultural degradation, a kind of Weimar type renaissance, if you want to call it that. And, Russia is on the up and up. In a way, they've been kind of inoculated against everything that's happening over here in the West because they live through that. It's sort of like catching a disease, you know, being on your butt for a century, which is basically where they were, and then popping up and you're not as, exposed to being infected by the same thing again. We have not experienced that in the West as of yet. We've enjoyed relative freedom and do what you wantism for quite a while, and we're just unsuspecting to this kind of phenomenon, which is now creeping in pretty hard, and looks like it's going to happen. And so I don't know if Russia is at the top of anyone's list. For me, I wouldn't go there just because it's cold. Now, I'm part of the Russian Orthodox Church. I think Russian history is very fascinating. The architecture is beautiful. It looks relatively safe, actually. Relatively, if you go to like Moscow or St. Petersburg, you'll probably feel more at safe than you do in San Francisco or New York. Um, and I'm getting into like Russian books. I've been tweeting about Dostoevsky. There's just a rich history there with music and literature, and it looks like they're trying to bring that back or get back on that road, which is a beautiful thing to see. I'm not trying to shill for Russia, but I'm just saying, like, if you're young, um, you may want to consider learning accounting and just getting out of the states. You may just want to consider that. For me, it's too late. Like, I have roots here. I have family. I have a good friend network. I have my church down the road, which I love a lot, and is basically the ark of my salvation. So no matter what happens here, like, I'm on the ship and I'm ready to go in that kind of spiritual way, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's like I'm not afraid of what's going to be happening here, but if you're not tied down, you may want to look into getting out. You just may want to look into getting out because just it doesn't look good, fellas. It doesn't look good. You do see a lot of people converting to the Christian faith in America because of what we're seeing, and that is part of my belief that God allows people, the likes of which are ruling over us, to get in control because He wants to convert us and look to Him for salvation. And I think many people are actually, in a weird kind of way, grateful for what's going on in the world right now, because it's showing them that, yes, there is a spirit of evil. The devil is real. And if the devil is real and evil is real, then good is real and God is real. And that encourages people to come back to the church. And I've actually talked to a number of people like that. I was in a way like that. And so, I think that's just part of the way it's going to go. I mean, this is all happening for the good of our salvation. So, one, consider leaving the country. Seriously. If Trump gets elected, you may be drafted to go to war with Iran for Israel. If Harris gets elected, uh, all bets are off. Your chances of having any economic mobility and success may be very much tampered, and you could be dealing with food shortages because of the price controls that they're going to institute. Now, if you get into Monero, like we talked about in the last video, you have a chance. And that's my next point is check out private cryptocurrencies. And that's, again, not me trying to arbitrarily shill. I truly believe that private cryptos are a good investment, especially if you're considering moving abroad all over the place because, you have these assets, they're secret, and you can be mobile with them and get to wherever you need to go with them. There are nodes all over the world, Monero nodes, and should you end up in a hotspot, you can get on out and you've got a pocket full of private cash with you, which is good to have. So leave the country, learn accounting, private cryptos. Those are three primary things I'd recommend. Also, go to the gym. I mean, you've heard all this stuff before, right? Go to the gym, eat healthy. Um, these are givens, right? You're not going to feel good if you're not working out. You're not going to feel good if you're not eating healthy. And I know it's easy, and there are temptations, again, everywhere to eat bad. But look, if you eat healthy, you'll feel better, and it's worth the investment. And I know the food is really actually getting expensive. Trust me. I just bought like a thing of watermelon. I forgot how much it weighed or whatever, but it was like almost $20 to buy a bunch of watermelon chunks. So I get it, but it's more about the mind and the spirit. If you eat fast food all the time, your mind and spirit, unless you're like Trump and you can just eat McDonald's every day and it doesn't affect you like that, and you're going to be downtrodden a little bit. You're not going to be at your maximum capacity. And you want to be at your capacity. You want to fight, right? You don't want to just give up, one, because once you give up, all those nihilistic thoughts that you have in your mind, they become a reality and you've already lost. The worst has already happened to you because you gave up the fight, which is the worst thing that could happen. Um, and so you want to keep fighting, but you also want to have some hope, right? You don't want to, unless you're going to become a monastic and you're just going to go to the church and say, "This is the salvation. I'm all in. Forget about the world. Death to the world." You do want to have a plan if you're going to be in this world. You want to figure out how to make some money. You want to figure out how to be a business owner if possible. And if you become a business owner, definitely start to take Monero and private cryptocurrencies so that you can be part of the infrastructure and network that connects you to some pretty freaking smart people and pretty connected people, in my experience. So, those are some words of advice. Work out, obviously. And there is a thing where if you look good, if you're in shape, people just treat you better. I mean, that is a black pill for some people because, some people are just naturally, unfortunately not very good looking. There's a disparity, a bell curve, and all that. But if you get fit, at the very least, you'll be respected. So that's going to make your reality a little bit better as well. But just make sure if you get fit and you start to get that respect and positive attention, don't get crazy with it. Don't go out and party and have fun with all the STD laden ladies and do all that kind of stuff. You want to like keep your head on straight and just use your fitness lifestyle as a way to develop discipline in other areas of your life. Okay. And the last thing I'll add in this short video is you got to have some kind of spiritual construct in your life. Otherwise, you absolutely will lose to the spirit of the times. You will 100% lose. And I mean, I still lose battles on every occasion, every other occasion when it comes to the temptations of the world, and that's me trying to be as good a Christian as I possibly can, which, for some people is like, nothing, but, everyone starts somewhere, everyone's at their own place. But for me, I would recommend the Orthodox Church. I'm not a theologian, And I'm not going to sit here and do like the transcendental argument for God like Jay Dyer does, but I'm just telling you, like, it's made my life a lot better. It's granted me community. Apparently, a problem a lot of young folks have is they don't have community. A lot of people don't even have family because families are broken all over the place. And, you know, they don't have friendships and that kind of thing. If you don't have other people that you're responsible for and who are responsible for you, and you are a tight knit unit, um, the demons definitely come after you if you're solo dolo. I mean, you are a prime target. If you're with other people who are especially on the path to trying to overcome the spirit of the times, then you have a much better fighting chance and you can form a bulwark against the demonic attacks. But when you're all by yourself and it's just you, yourself, and your mind, it can be very difficult, which is why a lot of monks, they you know, become brothers together. There are brotherhoods, you know, and there are some monks who do it alone, but a lot of those monks are on Mount Athos or they're in the middle of nowhere, right? They don't have the temptations that we're dealing with here. If you're by yourself, you are going to be, you know, a flake in a goldfish bowl. You're going to be gobbled up by the demons. So you gotta find community, and you can find that in the Orthodox Church. A lot of great people there, and I believe it's the ultimate and whole truth. And just by having that light of Christ to lead you forward and to give you some hope, even if it's not in the temporal but in the eternal, that'll at least get you moving in a direction. And ultimately, you need to be moving in a direction. And if you're not moving in a direction, the world will pull you in a direction that you'll just fall into, and it'll take you to hell. So let's just re-summarize everything. So one, consider leaving the country because it's cooked. The United States, Western Europe, totally cooked. There's Armageddon coming here. There's no doubt about it. Number two, and I'm not saying that to doom you out. I'm just, that's objectively what's going to happen. Okay. So unless there's divine intervention, you got to leave that door open always. Christ could, you know, definitely come intervene and do some great things. It's happened before. Okay. Number two, learn accounting. That's the best career you could probably go into, the best bang for your buck. You don't have to go to college. You can learn this stuff online. You could find a mentor. You can get your EA license, your enrolled agent license, where you can do taxes. Again, you don't need to have credits for that like you do at the CPA. You get that from the IRS, and then you can be on your way to establishing your own practice where you do bookkeeping, you do taxes. It's easy money to make, and especially with the oncoming communist system that we have coming here, tax people are not going to have a problem finding a job. Like, we already have a huge accounting shortage as it is. And if you don't want to do taxes because you have an ideological problem with it or something like that, then you can go do bookkeeping. You can go into auditing. You can go into forensic accounting. There are so many different avenues you could go into. And so, you know, and people are saying it's going to be automated by AI. Not anytime soon. And if AI does take out a lot of the rudimentary tasks, you can get into more interesting parts of accounting, mergers and acquisitions, international tax, again, forensic accounting, where there's more higher level analysis and you need to do like strategic planning. Maybe you can get into like a CFO type role. If you have good social skills and you can kind of communicate these kinds of things efficiently and effectively to companies that need to reorient their business to become more profitable and things like that. So that is just such a great avenue. Even if you're not going to do accounting, having a background in accounting definitely helps if you're going to be an entrepreneur. And it's getting harder and harder to find accountants, so might as well learn it yourself. Okay, so that's number two. Number three, you're going to want to work out. You're going to want to eat healthy. And then I think I missed one in there, but yeah, join the Orthodox Church 100%. And, you know, follow Christ. That's, if I could just say one thing, it would be that: follow Christ. And that will at least give you some hope to overcome the environment that we're in. Because the moment you give into the doom, you've already been doomed, right? I'm not a black pillar. It's not healthy. I think everybody gets to that at some point, but you got to go deeper. And at the bottom of the black pill is Christ. It's the ultimate white pill, and you'll be glad that you found the black pill if that's what was necessary to get you to the white pill, which is Christ, which just out radiates and shines every pill that you could get into. Um, so that's all I got to say. Also get into letter writing. I have a video on that. I actually do think that's a good thing. Keep a journal and all that stuff. Get the mind straightened out onto the paper. And that's all I've got for now. Just a really quick video. Don't do what the Washington Post says to embrace chaos. USA Today advises therapy. You could go talk to a priest for free. Okay, if you've got problems, you can go talk to a priest or a monastic. They'll be there to listen to you, and they've got good advice. So, um, that just a quick tip there. It's like that old meme. It's like the elites, the globalists. They don't want you to know this, but you can go to church for free. And I uh, commend that sentiment. So, just a quick word for the bros. Of course, buy Monero because it's going to go super hyper mega nuclear. Okay, just another quick tip, maybe number six. That's all I got for you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. God bless, and see you soon.